Hello.
Welcome
Back
to the disaster.
I know we said that we would get back on track after we did that, random shit podcast to, catch up.
Here we are a fat month and a half later.
Yeah, we were like, oh, well, October's gonna have a lot of stuff happening that we can talk about. Haven't done a podcast on any of them. But, that's...
To be fair, October had a lot of shit happening. Which means we also just didn't have a lot of time to do stuff. We were very stressed, especially for the last 2 weeks of October, so we just didn't really do things. But we're gonna do 2 podcasts this week over some stuff that we missed. The 2 big things, which are Trench and something else you'll find out about later. It's definitely not Doctor Who. But anyway, Trench is out! And we've already done 2 goddamn podcasts on this shit. But now the actual album is here. It's been a long road. It's been a journey.
But we're here and we're not as enthusiastic as we usually are, because we usually do it, the day after. But I'm honestly glad, or the weekend after.
Yeah.
Which is usually the day after, because for some reason every album is released on a Friday.
You right.
But... Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, but it's actually probably good that we didn't do it straight after, because this album was such a roller coaster that I needed to process. But then after a week, I was like, okay, now it's probably good that we didn't do a podcast this week, so then I could have time to process, and then we didn't do it for another 3 weeks, so...
But here we are, we're doing it now.
Yeah,
What's done cannot be undone, so here we go.
We're here.
First of all, what a fucking bomb. What a great album.
That's true.
It's so good, and it's I felt like I didn't get as excited for it as I have for albums in the past, probably just because it kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah,
and we were really busy, and the whole month of October just kind of was beating me over the head with a baseball bat. So I was just kind of I couldn't process it, but I was all the excitement that I should have had in small doses leading up to it just hit me as we pressed play on the album, and I was just shaking.
It was a whole month worth of excitement and anticipation in 15 seconds.
Yes. So it was a wild ride. The day it came out, 21 Pilots posted something where they were sometimes the album will have you feeling like this, and sometimes it'll have you like this, and then it was a picture of them laughing and a picture of them looking dejectedly at the ground, and let me tell you, that's correct.
Accurate. It was very accurate.
It was pretty much the first 5 songs, real solid, just, classic album arrangement, and then it was they were hey, here's a really happy song, now we're gonna punch you in the face, and then we're gonna lift you back up, dust you off, give you a band-aid and a lollipop for your troubles, then we're gonna kick you in the shins, and then you're gonna fall down, and then we're just gonna beat the shit out of you and just keep kicking you while you're down, then we're gonna lift you back up, and then we're just gonna sucker punch you immediately.
It was great.
It was an experience, to be sure.
It was quite chill overall.
Yes,
there was jumpsuit and levitating Pet Cheetah, which were bangers, but most of them were very, really chill vibes.
Yeah, they were very despite how violent I just described the songs, a lot of them were very kind of peaceful, kind of like it's been in my car for about a month now, and it's very nice to drive to. Because you're just kind of having a good time, I mean, if you don't listen to the lyrics. When you listen to the lyrics, then you're just
sometimes you're having a good time.
Yeah. But just listening to how they sound, it's very calming. And
nice.
The music is very different from the old stuff, but it still is that kind of top feel. It's not
all
like
of
super
it.
different. It's not as different as like other things though. Like Mania and like Play for the Wicked are like really different from like Panic and Fall Out Boy's last albums. And I feel like and then like What If Nothing is pretty different from like Talking Is Hard and really different.
What If
from
Nothing had like the same like vibes as like Walk the Moon usually does? It just kind of like had like a different like style to it.
Yeah,
but it had like the same it doesn't even have the same energy. It had a very similar energy.
Yeah, it was very Walk the Moon-ish, but it was very different. That's kind of the same thing as like this is. It has a very different feel, I feel like, than the other albums do, but it is very quintessentially 21 Pilots.
It wasn't like a very like sharp like 180-degree like flip or anything. It was like it felt like very like 21 Pilots, like, if you listen to all their albums, like, in order, it feels like a very, like, natural progression of style.
It's a
rather than,
natural...
like, Fall Out Boy, which is, like, here's one style, here's a completely different one, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. Fuck you.
It's a very natural progression of styles, but it is different, I feel like, and it seemed like they tried some things in Blurry Face that they liked, and then they were like, we're just gonna put a fuck ton of this.
We're just gonna put more.
Like, I feel like Blurry Face, more than like any of the other albums, had songs that were kind of more like somber sounding.
Yeah.
But like in that 21 Pilots way. Where it's kind of just like funky, you know? Funky but somber. And that's kind of what, and Trench has a lot of that. It has a ton of falsetto. It was like they had falsetto on like maybe like one song in Blurry Face. I can't
Tyler just suddenly remembered that you can actually use your falsetto voice more than like once.
You did it in like Ride.
Yeah.
And like that's it.
Like
and then in this album it's like every song, and on one hand I'm like, yes, you go, you funky little singer boy, but then also I'm like, god damn it, this was like the one band that's dependably in my vocal range, and now it's not. And my friend who's a soprano was like, fuck yeah.
Now it's in my vocal range.
The tables have turned. But yeah, the aesthetic for this album is super strong. It's very unique. I mean, they made camouflage green and yellow emo. Like, who would have fucking thought? Who could have pulled that off? They did. Every time I see green or yellow, even within like proximity to each other, even just on their own. And I've seen other people talk about this, so it's not just me being a freak. They're just like, welcome to Trench.
It's like, I'm here for emo bands making like colors other than black, like emo. Like,
yes.
Fall Out Boy made like bright purple emo. Yeah. Pray for the Wicked made like, I like how I said Fall Out Boy and then I just said Pray for the Wicked instead of Panic. Panic at the Disco made like pastel colors emo with Pray for the Wicked's cover.
But Panic at the Disco, just not even like just discount, not even just like going to the last album, just their whole thing. They're just kind of like, we're gonna make folk music and glittery like gold suits emo.
It's like,
fight me about it.
They're not, Panic at the Disco doesn't seem like it really like tries to be emo. It's just like the emos like won't let them go, so they just kind of drag everything they do into like emo. Just like, nah, Panic at the Disco did it, so it's emo now. Like we're stubborn. We won't let them go.
It's like they made like a whole album that was like folk music and yodeling, and we were like, guess that's emo now.
It's like no one's like, oh, I guess Panic at the Disco isn't emo now. We're just like, I guess this style of music is part of emo now.
But anyway, that's off topic.
The
aesthetic is what we're trying to say. Is very strong. It's like green, yellow, still black in there, and it's interesting, and then it's just so like kind of pretty, like with like the flower petals and everything like that. The visuals for like the audio things that they uploaded for like the album on YouTube.
Those are aesthetic.
They're so pretty. They're so pretty. Like, they did some for, like, the other, like, previous songs, and they were, like, really cool, but, like, these, like, really just kind of, like, cranked it up 10 levels. It's, like, I want them as, like, wallpaper, so I can just plaster my entire home with them. It's so strong. And then, like, the concerts are extra as fuck. Like, they got, like, 18 different outfits that they wear. Because, like, they have, like, special trench outfits. And then they still bring up, like, the skeleton hoodies. And they bring back, like, the flower kimono and, like, the blurry face, like, outfits that they did, too. Yes.
Glad that they still can.
Oh my god, it's like, I just randomly remembered this, like, one of the things that Tyler does is, like, he kind of does the thing he did with the kimono, but with, like, a yellow, like, suit jacket, and it makes him look so fucking funny.
No.
And somebody posted this picture of him at a concert, and he's, like, hunched over and walking across the stage. Like a gremlin. And I love it so much. Because he's just kind of looking like this, like, weird, like, it looks like one of those things that you see in, like, a meme where it's just like, this is what you see when you have sleep paralysis. And I love it so much. And then they've got, like, pyrotechnics. Josh is getting, like, injured during the rehearsals. They got, like,
that wasn't because of some, like, extra thing they did. That was just because Josh fell off his, like, riser.
That's true. They're still doing the crowd surfing thing. Doing jumpsuit, they have petals fall from the goddamn ceiling. They've got, like, a bridge that they, like, they, like, just cross over, and it's, like, right above the crowd, and at, like, one point during, like, a rap break, because I think they do it during Nico and the Niners.
No, they do it during Pet Cheetah. No, they do it twice, because they, like, use it to get to, like the B stage, I think it's called, like, the second smaller stage, and then they also do it to get back.
That's true. Okay, well, I saw a video of him, and he, like, was halfway across the bridge, and then, like, the rap thing started for Nico and the Niners, and he, like, crouches down in the middle of the bridge and starts rapping and, like, sticks his hands through the rafters, and there are people, and they can, like, reach him, and they're just, like, under this bridge, and then he, like, jumps down, and then there's, like, steam coming up from the B stage. It's so cool.
And then there's, like, I saw a video of him doing it during Pet Cheetah, and there was, like, when it, like, you know, like, when the, like, rap picks up.
Yeah.
In, like, the middle of it. He, like, starts, like, fucking jumping around, and I'm just, like, that bridge does not look stable enough for you to be doing that.
It's literally, like, a raft or catwalk that they just lowered down to, like, a foot above the stage. Like, what if it breaks and just falls on everybody? They probably wouldn't care. But, like, y'all, it's, like... It's crazy. I'm
just looking at your notes, and all I can make out is just "Welcome to Trench," really like spaced out in the middle.
Listen.
Alright. Also, I'm still here for the weird high concept story.
Yes.
They stayed pretty consistent throughout the album. There were a couple songs where it was like, we interrupt this high concept story for this.
Yes, but
brief
like
intermission.
I feel like all of the songs have, like, a meaning that's not related to the story, but then also most of them can have a meaning that's also related to the story as well.
Yeah.
Like, Smithereens, probably not, but, like, Legend, probably not, but, like, most of them do, so I'm still holding on to this high concept story. I want more music videos.
Yeah.
I need more. To live. And I just really missed them, you know? Like, I always forget how funny they are. They're so funny. It's like, you think of their music and then think of, like, how, like, if you didn't know anything about them and you just listened to their music and then imagine them as, like, a person, they would be, like, they act way different than you would expect them to. They're just really, like, they just do a bunch of, like, dumb shit, and they're really funny, and, like, you know, they come back from... I renew. Or, like, you know, they, like, fuck with interviewers during, like, in interviews, or like, you know, they don't tweet for you and then come back and they're just like, oh, I was taking a bath, and it's like, they're just so dumb and I love them.
I should, this is totally off topic, but well, it's not totally, I should show you like this like interview press conference thing they did, because it was great. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this.
Also, just really wanted to bring up, because I really love it, and so does like everyone ever on every social media platform, but in one of the concerts, like, Tyler was like singing and doing that thing where he's kind of like, I don't know, I can't picture how he does it, because he's like squatting but like on top of the crowd.
They like grab his legs, and I guess he's just really good at balancing.
It does.
This is why people dropped him at that one festival, because they were like, you know, the 21 Pilots fans are like prepared for this shit, and then anyone who like wasn't was probably like, why is he like crowd surfing but like standing? What are we supposed to do?
It's like they don't crowd surf normally. They do it in like hamster balls or on platforms where they're playing drums, or they just like stand on top of the crowd and just expect people to just hold them. But
they have a lot of trust.
You'd think there'd be like a platform they were holding up, but he just crouches there, like, while people, like, on people's arms. And like, he was just doing that, and then somebody was like handing him something, and he would just like whipped it out, and it was a pride flag, and then he just really dramatically like whipped it around his shoulders and kept singing. And I'm like, and y'all, there are really people out here that think that 21 Pilots is homophobic because they don't actively talk about how homophobia is bad, because I think it's kind of like, because, you know, obviously every time someone doesn't, like, you know, outwardly be like, hey, homophobia is bad, because that's probably something that should just be inherently recognized by now. That obviously means that they're homophobic.
I really, like, hate that. Like, if someone, like, this could be, like, its own podcast. But
it's going to be. I feel it.
I really, like, hate it when people just sort of, like, assume that because someone doesn't talk, like, it's like, oh, if you don't actively talk about how much you support this specific cause, and that must mean you're, like, against it. And it's like, it's that whole thing, I think it, like, spawns from that idea that it's like, if you're not actively fighting against something, then you might as well be, like, doing it, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me.
It does in some cases, like, if, like, with, like, bullying or harassment or something, like, if you don't say anything about it when you see it, then that's basically, like, enabling it. But just because they're not out here, you know, being, like, just because hating gay people is wrong doesn't mean that if they, like, see someone, like, harassing a gay person in the street, they're not gonna be like, hey, stop that, you know? Like, it's like, just, they have other things that they want to talk about. Like,
I kind of get, like, the don't be, like, complacent and just, like, let things happen kind of attitude. Just because people aren't constantly, like, talking about it on social media doesn't mean they're not, like, voting to support it, or, like, you know, donating to charities to support, like, just because someone isn't, like, super vocal about supporting something doesn't mean they don't, like, support it, you know?
It's just, it's dumb. We'll probably have a whole podcast about that kind of stuff later, but basically I wanted to mention that because that just looked really pure, and it made people very happy, and I support it. It was a strong look. Anyway,
wearing pride flags as capes is a strong look for anyone.
Exactly. But anyway, on to the songs. It starts off with Jumpsuit, which we've already talked about, so we're gonna go through this pretty fast.
Still a bop.
What a way to start an album. What a way to come back from hiatus and just, like, just throw us into this world and just be like, this is happening whether you like it or not. Fuck you.
Still a bop.
It's a bop. The bass line's great. Vocals are great. Bridge is beautiful. We stan.
Still one of my favorite songs on the album.
What an absolute banger. But yeah. Levitate is next.
And there's, like, if you listen to it on the CD, okay, it's like the best thing ever. There's like a transition between them, and it's like, you can't even tell that it switches song unless you, like, look.
Yes, I'll be driving in the car, and I'll be like, I wonder when Levitate starts, and I look, and it's already been starting for 7 seconds, because that's how smooth the transition between Jumpsuit and Levitate is. It could literally be, like, one song. It literally looked like it's literally like they made it as one song, and then just, like, cut it down the middle, and then,
somewhere,
like, just cut it somewhere and then just, like, put them as separate tracks, because, like, it's such a smooth transition, and I love that. And it's an all-rap song. I can't remember if we talked about this one before.
I don't think so, because it wasn't one of, like, the first two they released.
Yeah. But, like, it's great. It's a whole rap song, which they've never done before. And it's really short, and I wish it was longer, but also I understand why it was, like, really short, and, like, I think it works with the song.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he wasn't rapping it the whole time, it would be a lot longer. But the fact that he's kind of, like, rapping really fast and, like, has this, like, really good flow to it.
It's good.
It's good. He's really good at rapping, guys. And it's good. I love the little whistle thing that they do in the background, and every time I try to talk about it, you're always like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like a kind of, like, Western movie kind of, like,
I know
whistle.
what you're talking
it's like
about.
It goes like, woo! I can't do it.
No, that's not what it is.
I know, I can't do it, but it's like, it sounds like...
It's because I wouldn't describe it as a whistle.
It's kind of like a whistle.
It's random synth noises.
Okay, but, like, it's like when a Western movie is happening, and there are these, like, two people, and they're about to do, like, a draw. It's like that noise.
That's the only thing people think of when you say Western movie noise.
I know,
It's
but, like,
you don't need to describe it more. Everyone will automatically know what you're talking about.
But I like that in there. It's just a nice little detail. And then I like the ending a lot. They did like that kind of, like, Lane Boy thing where they, like, end the song and they're like, not really.
And they, like,
bitch,
don't
you
actually.
thought. And then just, like, the welcome to Trench. I love that.
It's good.
And then they just, like, roast the fuck out of the music
Oh,
industry,
yeah, I
which
love
we
it.
always stand.
I stan, like, people doing weird shit in their music, and I
Yeah.
stan people roasting the shit out of the music industry.
It was just such, like, a kind of, like, an ironic song, but in, like, a good way, because it's, like, he talks about, like, you know, like, how people, like, the single on the album's always, like, the second thing, and how it's, like, all, like, manufactured, like sell
the
stuff.
single slot is what
like,
it's
the
called.
single
I'd never heard of
slot.
that until I looked up, like, what the Levitate lyrics were. And
Yeah.
it's track 2 is known as, like, the single slot.
And it's just some, like, weird kind of, like, I guess, way to, like marketing thing. And Levitate's track 2 on the album. Or he, like, makes fun, or, like, he talks about, like, how, like, you know, standard song form is, like, boring and just a way to, like, not, like, you know, it's not bad, but if you only do standard song form, it's, like, just a way to, like, compensate for lack of originality and just to kind of, like, make something that will sell well.
And, like, it sounds familiar. It's basically a no risk. It's basically like you not taking any, like, risks, like, creative risk. You just, like, doing something and you know that's fine and no one will, like, object to it.
Yeah, it's tried, tested, and true. It's tried, tested, and true. And, like, he kind of makes fun of that and, like, does a thing where he's like, chorus, verse, now here comes the 8th, which is the bridge. And then the song, Levitate, goes...
Chorus,
verse, chorus, outro.
I love it. Yeah, I like when people do that, like, something, like, lyrically in the song, like, connects with something, like, more musically, like, more arbitrary, like, how it's, like, they talk about, like, track 2 in Levitate, and Levitate's track 2 on the album.
Or, like, how AJR has a song called 3:30, and it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds long.
Yeah, about how, like, it's hard to fit
everything you want to say in a song into the standard, like, song length.
just 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and then they made it 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
I like that kind of thing. Anyway, moving on to Morph.
I love
Morph is so good.
It's so, like, funky. Like,
it's funky, the beat and music is super cool. Yeah.
I love it.
I just really like the kind of, like, beat changes and, like, it's got, like, very kind of, like, subtle beat drops in it. The drumming is really good. It's, like, chill and upbeat, but then, like, slightly ominous. Which is, like, peak, you know.
That's peak 21 Pilots aesthetic.
It is peak 21 Pilots aesthetic. And then the lyrics are also, I think, really peak 21 Pilots aesthetic because it's about, you know, like, death. And the afterlife.
We stand existentialism in this
it's
household.
very existential, and then it has, like, the rap. I love the rap break in it. He's always trying to stop me. That
Nicholas
Nicholas Bourbaki. He's got no friends close, but those who know most know he goes by Nico.
The story's, like, very, like, explicit in it.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, I'm here for it.
They mention Nico a lot, which makes sense. And then, like, that kind of, like, really ties the whole thing together with the concept album. And I just, like... I really like the whole concept of giving Blurryface a more solid identity. Like, they gave him a name. They gave him, like, a face. You know?
Other than, like, Tyler's.
Other than, like, Tyler's face. And I feel like it's kind of possibly, like, you know, like, there's, like, two different ways to, like, deal with stuff like with that kind of thing. And it's either to kind of, like, accept it as a part of you. And I feel like that's what Blurryface did. And then also kind of, like, make it a separate, like, entity to kind of, like, separate, like, what, like, the darker parts of you from yourself because you don't want it to define you. And I feel like that's what...
Defined you.
Shut up! And I feel like that's what Trench does. Like, it's
they did
kind of
that
like...
at the end of Blurryface, too, in Ghana, like...
Well, yes.
He's the one time.
Yeah, but it kind of took it from, like, just being, like, his second face to, like, this completely different person who has his own name and his own face and his own agenda, and it's not Tyler.
His own name, who just happens to be the name of some, like, crusty mathematician for some reason.
That's the other thing.
I don't know why they did that, but...
but I forgot about that. Nicholas Bourbaki, who's the name that he gave Blurryface, you know, it's also Nico, is the guy who's, like, on the demo website, there was that picture of the kid, and if you, like, and it's, like, a cropped-in picture of this mathematician who mathematically, who claimed to, like, who was part of this group of 9 mathematicians who claimed to have mathematically proved that God exists, and that guy's name was Nicholas Bourbaki.
At least
and
his
that's
last name
what
was
he named.
I'm not sure if his first name was Nicholas. I know his last name was Bourbaki, though.
Anyway, they named Blurryface after this dude who's in a group of 9 people and, like, did the weird funky things, and then Nico is, like, the leader of, like, the 9 bishops of Demo. It's really cool. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. And then, you know, there's just the part at the end where it's just, like, the reference to the judge, like...
Yeah.
Not done.
Not done. Not done. Josh Dunn! Yeah, like, if you don't know, in the judge...
very faintly in the background.
Very faintly in the background. Like, I know it's there, I've never actually been able to hear it. But, like, there's just Tyler screaming Josh Dunn. And the reason it's there is because when he was in the booth, Josh walked by. So he just went like, Josh Dunn! And then it was kind of like, became like a joke. They sing it during the concerts. So then they put it at, yeah.
During the concert we
Well, yeah, because instead of like...
it being in like the background.
Yeah, because instead of like saying like, you're the judge, oh no, he says like, you're the judge. Josh Dunn. Set me free. So they made it really obvious, and then they like just kind of put that in morph, which I just think is like a great thing. And then somebody like asked them about it on some website, I can't remember what it was, and then Tyler just goes, every album I give Josh one opportunity to write the lyrics, and that's always what he comes up with.
Josh, I love them.
Yes, it's good. And then I also really like we're surrounded and we're hounded.
There's no above, under, or around it.
I really just like that part. I like how it sounds. He sounds so, like, disinterested.
I love
it's
it.
great. I really like that part. Morph is good. Now we're on to My Blood, which is honestly, like, if I had to try to narrow it down to, like, my favorites, My Blood would definitely be there.
My unspecific number of favorites.
I don't know. I love them all so much.
That's the mood.
My Blood, it was like when it came out, I just loved it so much, and I still really, really love it. It's still definitely one of my favorites on the album.
It's so pure.
It's just, I love the vibe and the way the music sounds.
Good.
I love the falsetto and like, yeah,
and
the lyrics are so like sincere and wholesome, and they just make me like really happy. And then it's like, It's kind of reminds me of that song "Sit Next to Me" by Foster the People. Because they both do that, like, kind of, like, falsetto thing.
Yeah, I love it.
It's really good. I really like "Sit Next to Me"
by
Foster.
The rest of the song isn't anything.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't
that
really. It doesn't really. It doesn't.
They just kind of
that's
have,
the
like,
only similar. They
similar
have similar energies, you know.
Like, musically.
Yes, and it's just really good, and it's kind of got, like, a wavy feel to it.
Synthwave.
Yes, and I really like the bass line in it and, like, the beat drop in it. And then I like the music video a lot. Can't believe they, like, Forest Ficked us with the fucking music video.
We can't make
Disgusting.
references to the Forest Fic. I don't even know what it's about. I've never read it. I don't read fanfiction, especially if it says fic. If it says fic at the end, it's the worst thing ever, and you should avoid it.
Okay, well, the reason that people think it's people think it's cringy. I've read, like, a part of it because somebody posted it, and I was just like, I want to know, like, why everyone talks about this. And the part that I read was actually kind of interesting because the way that they, like, described things is very, like, imagery. Like, the writing was actually, like, really good.
A lot of fanfiction writers are all really good at actually writing. I just don't like fanfiction.
Yeah, like,
especially when it's about real people. That's kind of weird.
I was kind of like, this makes me feel weird because it's about real people, and also I haven't read fanfiction since I was, like, 13. But, like, why the fuck does everyone talk about this,
like,
all the time?
Because
they don't talk about it the way they talk about, like, the awful fics, like the fucking milk fic. Like, it's not like infamous in the same way that it's
not like infamous for being, like, the worst thing ever.
Generally, some people think it's cringy, but most people, like, read it, and then, like, when they were, like, 12 or whatever, and it made them cry, because, I don't know. I don't know, but the basic plot line, generally, I don't know. But,
we don't need to talk about the Forest Fic.
Basically, like, the thing from the Forest Fic is, like, the line, like, Josh isn't real, because, like, apparently he's, like, just Tyler's, like, imaginary friend who he, like, came up with to cope with, like, trauma or something.
It's
but then,
so
like,
weird to write
maybe
things
it's like
this
not,
about real humans.
I know, but then, like, maybe he's not real. He is real, and he just pretends he's not. I don't know. But basically, in the music video, it's like this kid, and he has a brother, and they, like, grow up, and it shows them, like, growing up together and having each other's back, and at the end, they're like, ha! He never had a brother!
Which makes the rest of the video make, like, absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and then so, you know, and then everyone was just like, can't believe the goddamn Forest Figged us in a can,
Dude, were they, like, aware that was, like, a thing?
Probably not.
Did they, like,
I hope not.
see that thing and it was, like, interesting?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Some people are just, like, so unbothered, but, like, a lot of people are like, you shouldn't write fan fiction about, like, real people, because it'll, like, make them, like, feel weird, and then, like, half the people who, like, know about it, like, are just like, what the fuck, I don't care.
Yeah, like, Dan and Phil, they don't give a shit. They wrote fan fiction for one of their books.
About themselves. They, like, have read fan fiction about themselves in videos. They usually, like, know about, like, 2 paragraphs in.
Yeah, that being said, though, if someone says it's uncomfortable for them, don't fucking write fan fiction about them. Just don't fucking do it. Just respect people.
But most of the time, people don't seem to give a shit.
Yeah. I don't like to read fan fiction because, again, I haven't done it since I was, like, 12.
I don't need to get, like, flashbacks to middle school.
And it was a dark time. But, you know, I just, like, and especially, like, not about, like, real people. That just, like, seems weird to me. But again, most people who have fan fiction written about them don't really care. So, I mean, as long as the person you're writing about is okay with it, you know, not a problem.
Yeah,
no
nothing
issues
wrong
here.
with it.
Anyway, that's really
We're
off
just
topic.
getting
My blood is really great.
Anyway, yeah, the music video is cool. My blood's great. Chlorine is a bop.
Okay, yes.
Moving
the beginning is so good. It just makes me kind of just want to, like, wiggle. Like, just wiggle in time to it. Like, not do any actual dancing. Just kind of, like, move. It's, like, really good. And then I can't understand what it is. And then I can't really understand what somebody, like, what they're saying in the beginning. But it sounds like the very first thing they say is, like, so where are you? Like, so where are you? And then, like, they say other things.
It's been a while, is what they say.
God fucking
That's the intro. I can't...
See, that makes sense because they, like, reference the hiatus in it. In, like, needing to take time for yourself.
It's just...
This is blasphemous.
I'm also slightly confused about, like, the lyrics at the end. And, like... Because I heard them as, can you break my heart if he says I'm just a chemical? And then you heard it as... What did you hear it as?
I heard it as, can you break my heart to pieces? Yeah, can you break my heart to pieces? I'm just a chemical.
And then everyone else apparently heard, can you build my house with pieces? I'm just a chemical. So
that is not it. It is definitely break my heart. It's not fucking build my house.
It's like apparently like a biblical reference or something. I don't fucking know.
No.
They have, like, the lyrics in the description, though, so I feel like it's, like, that. I feel like that's what it is, but that's never what I heard.
Okay, but I've heard other people who think they're saying, like, can you break my heart to pieces as well.
Enunciation
And then I also, like, once you said, if he says I'm just a chemical, now when I hear it, that's what I hear. Like, I hear if he says more than to pieces now. Basically, who the hell knows what's going on?
But also, it's a very long song, which
it
I
is.
appreciate. I really like the rap part in the middle.
Yes, I think it...
In my coat
pocket, where I get my rebel.
It's very chill.
That was invincible. You wrapped it around my head. Lies with you.
This isn't karaoke.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like the vibe is like a little ominous, but then also
it's like very chill.
Yeah. It's very, like, chill, slightly ominous. Once again, I think it establishes, like, a clear difference between Tyler and Nico. And, like, establishes them as, like, different people.
The vocals are, like, really good in this song in particular. I don't know why I think they are in this song in particular.
They just really are.
They're just really good. It's not just the falsetto, just all of them are really good. Also, the ending part is really pretty.
Yes, okay. I really like the ending part.
Yeah,
I guess it's technically the bridge. I don't know.
It's the bridge, but it's like the end. So
yes,
it also has like a second bridge.
Yeah,
once again, they already like dragged like traditional song form into the ground, so I don't think they care. I don't even think they think about it. I think they just like write things, and then
yeah. I think Rebel Red Carnation is a great line. I want that written on everything I own.
Why?
And I don't know. I just like it. Just like it a lot. And then I really think it's about kind of being like fueled, but then also like controlled by like the darkest parts of you. Cause you know, like he talks about how like, you know, drinking chlorine obviously not good for you, but then he says like that like, you know, it helps his like it helps him like run, but then it's also like, you know, terrible in flavor. Like, he knows that it's, like, bad for you and it, like, hurts him, but then he, like, it also, like, fuels him in a way. I like it. I think it's deep, man.
Deep. So the Smithereens, we interrupt this high-concept story for soft boy hours.
Yes, it's so pure and wholesome. I love singing to it. I really like his, like, his vocals in this song too.
True,
like in the bridge, I really like how he sings that. Kind of sounds like he's like doing a little like kind of like smoke while he's singing it, and then like I really like when he says the word like smithereens. I like, especially in like the middle where he's like smithereens. He kind of has like this like weird effect to his voice.
Good attempt.
There was an attempt. I swear I can sing it better than that. I just don't want to. But I highly recommend listening to it if you haven't.
It's cute.
Because it's just really cute.
It's another love song for Jenna.
I really hope that on every album, like, from here on out, like, they just write one
That's
for Jenna.
what it implies.
Yeah. I really like the bridge. And it's just so cute. Fun to sing to, and I love it. Yeah. And then you get knocked the fuck out
by Neon Gravestone. I just wrote gravestone instead of gravestones on my notes. That's
you nice. Like, you feeling happy and upbeat from Smithereens? Well, fuck you.
My notes for this one
sad
is
boy hours now!
My notes for this one is just screaming, so...
Well!
That's what I have to say about it. It's like, it's kind of a song you kind of just have to go, like, listen to understand why it's so great.
It's, like, so depressing, and then also so, like, meaningful and insightful. It sounds really good. I like the, like, slam poetry bit at the end.
Yeah.
And the sounds
they do that a couple
really
times
good.
in this album, and it's very... Usually I don't like it when, like, songs are basically someone, like, speaking over music, but, like, they make it work very well.
Because they just kind of, like, cut out the music for it, and it's, like, only at the end, and it, like, is very, like, impactful.
Yeah,
it's
especially because
like,
he's had, like, this weird, like, voice effect.
Yeah.
Or, like, voice layering over for, like, most of the song.
And then that one was, like, just him talking. I think with this song, it, like, really, like, heightens how, like the impact of his words. It's not just, like, with shitty rap singers who just can't rap, so they just kind of, like, talk over music. Like, it had an artistic purpose for it. It improves the
listen
song.
to it
yes.
and, like, listen to the lyrics, and if you want to cry more, listen to, like, the acoustic version, because I don't think you've heard that.
No. I'm
yeah,
kind of afraid to.
It's good. It's, in a way, in a form, it's a form of good.
Yeah, and then it's, like, it's about, basically, society, like, glorifying suicide and, like, romanticizing depression.
Just go listen to it. You'll understand.
It's kind of like, you know, people, like, often accuse 21 Pilots of, like, glorifying suicide, and I think that this is, like, not, like, just, like, a rebuttal to that, but it also just shows how much the idea that what they're doing, like, the idea that, like, what they're doing might make people think that committing suicide is, like, an option is, like, really upsetting to them. Like, you can tell that's, like, exactly the opposite of what they want to do.
It literally is the exact...
It is the exact opposite.
If,
I don't
like,
know how
you
people can miss the message so much.
Yeah, if you listen to 21 Pilots and the thing you get out of it is that depression is a good time and that suicide is a great option, I don't know. That's you. That's a you problem. That's a you thing. Yeah, but that's on you.
But you can tell that it's something that they've thought about a lot, and how much they really just don't want people to listen to their music and just miss the mark so much that it, like, has the opposite message that what they want it to have, you know?
Yeah, it's a very good song, and everyone should listen to it, because you just kind of, like, have to.
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna listen to, like, if you're only gonna listen to, like, one song off this album, listen to this one. Like, it's not even my favorite, probably, but, like, I mean, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I definitely think it has the strongest kind of, like, it's the message I think people need to hear the most.
Like, just listen to it. Yeah. And then listen to every other song, too. Because, like, if you're only going to listen to one, like, what the hell? Why?
Yeah. So then there's the hype, which really, like, these 3 songs are, like, the biggest hill on this roller coaster of an album. Because it's like, oh, yeah, Smithereens, you're so happy, having a good time. And then you just get mugged in a back alley by neon gravestones. And then the hype comes, picks you up, dusts you off, gives you, like, a $5 bill to go get, like, a donut from the shop down the street. Have a nice day.
Such soft energy, and I love it.
It's so soft.
So much. For some reason, this is the one that, like, almost made me cry on this album. I don't know why.
It makes me so happy. It's got, like, that, you know, that feeling in your chest when you're just, like, really, like, elated. Gives you that.
It's so soft.
And it's, like, so upbeat and cheerful, which is, like, really, like, classic top move to have, like, a really happy sounding song with, like, really deep lyrics. And
but, like, the lyrics aren't even, like, that sad. They're just, like, deep.
They're like, just,
good.
like, it's
they're
about,
like the
you know...
21 Pilots version of, like, happy lyrics.
It's, like, about trying to get through life and, like, finding something that's, you know, like, finding happiness no matter how, like, shitty things are now, you know? It's about how you gotta keep trying. And I think it kind of carries over from, like, Neon Gravestones. Because, like, Neon Gravestones talks about, you know, like, don't commit suicide. Just don't, dude. Just don't.
That's basically all of 21 Pilots music.
Yeah, but like this one in particular was just kind of like look to like other people and like look to like what they're doing and like look to like what they've done and how like dedicated to life and making things better like they are, and like take that and be inspired by it. And the hype is kind of about that, like kind of like same like get help, find a support system, find people who care about you and who will support you through these dark times. Like go talk to someone, get help if you like are having a rough time.
It's so sad. And then like doing like the bridge, the first bridge, something. It's a part. It is a section of the song. where the music like kind of chills out, and then like the uke comes in. I'm just like,
yes,
I love it.
Yes.
If I had to like choose a favorite, it would probably be the hype. I love it so fucking
I
much.
love the vocals in the hype as well, like especially during the bridge, like when he starts like yelling at the end of it. That's peak.
The first bridge, I think.
Yeah, I don't. It's a
like,
section of the song.
There's like two bridges, because like who gives a fuck, you know?
Yeah. So then there's Nico and the Niners. We've talked about that.
Still a bop.
Music video's great. The ukulele, which you still don't think it's ukulele for some
It's like a
goddamn
ukulele
reason.
with like a distortion on it.
Yeah,
like
but
you
it's still very
mistuned
clearly a ukulele.
If you like mistune the shit out of it.
Holy shit. And then the uke and the rapping is really good. It's a really like trench twist on like it's taking like things that has been like, you know, like quintessential like top staples of like ukulele and rapping, and then making it like really fit the trench aesthetic, you know.
We already talked about that.
Continues the story. Complete fucking nonsense to anyone who's like a casual fan
like
or below.
anyone
They
else
just don't care. If they're like, if you're not in it for the long haul, then I don't care. If you understand this song.
If you care enough to understand it, then you'll understand it. If you don't, then you won't. Not our job to explain shit to you.
Yes.
It's
great.
like even other songs like Morph that like very like explicitly like address the story.
Yeah.
Like you'd still be able to like basically understand that. You might be like, who the hell is Nicholas Bourbaki? But like you'd get it. Basically.
You'd basically understand it, but with Nico and the Niners, just nonsense.
And like if it like chlorine and stuff, like you'd like totally like miss or like even like Bandito, you'd like probably totally miss the fact that there even is a story, even though there's like pretty heavily referenced the story. But with Nico and the Night, it's just nonsense.
Yeah. So then Cut My Lip, kind of like with Morp, it's like Morp. I say.
But
Morph. It's like about, you know, going back to things that aren't good for you because that's like what you know how to do, but like you still want to try to move on and get better because you know it's not what you want to get from life. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Good message. It's another bop to the top.
Very chill. I really like the ending / middle part where it's like, lean on my pride. I'm a lion. I really like that. That's so
too.
cute.
I like the kind of like funky like wave in the background as well.
And it's such like a cute lyric.
Yes, it's super cute. The bridge is great, and then I like really like it's got like that classic kind of like top offbeat thing where it's like just the piano just going like doo, and then like the drum kind of doing like the offbeat, and it makes this like really kind of like the doo. Like the dee, I can't do it.
That's good.
Like the dee, like the offbeat thing, like in like Ride, it has that as well. Just that like very like top beat to it.
Yeah,
it's good. I like instantly identify that with them. If anyone else did it, I'd be like, get your own beat, fucker.
Get your own style.
Yeah.
Then there's Bandito.
Yes. This song sonically is like a masterpiece. It's got falsetto, pitch shifting. It's got like build-ups that like kind of in like falls in the music where it's like they like build it up and then bring it back down to like
it's
the
they
things.
can't see you aggressively gesturing.
It's like they build it up and then instead of having like a big climax to it, it just kind of brings it back down to the beginning and it's like it's beautiful.
Good. It's good.
Beautiful.
And
if they don't do a goddamn music video to this, I swear to God.
It's another one of my favorites. It's very pretty. I like the bridge, I guess, is what you would call it. We were very confused as to how to where it's like fully in falsetto, so I can't fucking sing it. Where he's like, I created this world.
Yes.
So they probably didn't even hear that.
To feel some control. Destroy it if I want.
Okay. It sounds better than that.
Yes.
It's good. It has a very, like, ominous vibes. I like this is the other song where they do the thing where it's kind of like slam poetry for a bit.
Yes. I really like the shift as well, because for most of it, the music is really, like, chill, and then, like, kind of, like, at the end, they kind of go, like, the din, din,
It's still pretty chill. It's just, like,
din.
it's still very chill. It's just, like, a little more, like, upbeat chill.
Yes, I love it. It's just, it's, like, the lyrics are great, but like mostly what I have to talk about here, I guess because I understand it and then also can't articulate what it means at the same time.
It's one of the things that like really heavily connects to the story.
Yeah,
it's just about like the Banditos, which are kind of like the rebels of like the Dima universe.
Yes.
So
it's like it very directly references the Banditos, but then also has a more metaphorical meaning about being a bandito in your heart.
Okay,
It's a cheesy.
And then also it has like a section where they kind of like break the fourth wall. Like,
yes,
I created this world.
But mostly just like sonically, it's so good, and just I love listening to it.
It is good. And then here's like another like pretty big shift. Not like where it's like really happy and then sad. It kind of goes from like kill to like dun 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 dun.
Because the next one is Pet Cheetah, the weirdest fucking name on the album, but
and
it makes
probably
sense.
One of the weirdest songs. Just full stop.
When you just like listen to like when you look at the track list, like when they released the track list, everyone was pretty much like, the fuck is Pet Cheetah gonna be about? Because they're not like Panic and Fall Out Boy, where they have like song titles that just don't make any goddamn sense.
So it's like when like Fall Out Boy released the track list and it said Stay Frosty Royal Milk Tea. No one was like, people were like, that's haha, they're bringing back the weird titles, but no one was like, how are they gonna write a song that like fits that? Because they were just like, the song just isn't gonna fit that.
We were just like, haha, they're back on their bullshit. We didn't. But, like, when you see a song called Pet Cheetah from a band that doesn't do weird song titles like that, like their song titles always match the song. There's a cat standing on my shoulder blade. But anyway, it's like, what the fuck is this song gonna be about? But, you know, they pulled it off.
It does, they do say the words Pet Cheetah in it.
The rap part is great.
I like
Love
how, like,
the rhythm shifts.
I like how it, like, like, the rap part, like, starts in just, like, one speaker.
Yeah.
Like, earphone, and then, like, when it, like, in the middle, there's, like, a little bit of, like, a beat drop, and it, like, picks up with earphone, and then it's, like, in both the speakers. It's a cool effect.
Yes, definitely listen to it, because it's, like, the rap part is just so good, and I love the part where
yeah, they just randomly talk.
Now my pet cheetah's cooking in the studio and on his feet.
So yeah, the pet cheetah's like a metaphor for like writer's block. Oh yeah, this is another one. We interrupt this high concept story for writer's block.
Yeah, it's about writer's block, the pressure to make music that you're proud of. They mention like kind of like the click in it.
I love it when they do that.
Because they, like, basically, like, they talked about how, like, you know, the click grew a lot with the last album. Like, a lot. Like, a lot.
Very, very exponentially. It grew a lot.
And he's talking about how that's really cool, and he's really glad about that, but then also it adds more pressure to kind of, like, it makes you afraid that you're gonna, like, let them down. Because, I mean, he obviously doesn't give a shit about the people that like 2 of their songs and then don't care, but there's a lot of people like us who became really, like, hardcore stans after Blurryface happened, and he doesn't want to let those people down, and it can add a lot of pressure. It's good, and I love it. And then I also just love the ending, where they're just kind of like, pet, cheetah, pet, cheetah,
and then, like, kind of, like, and then it kind of, like, fades out into just, like, da-da-da. I like it. And then also they just
have like a weird
Jason.
They named the cheetah Jason.
Jason Statham to be.
Which is like so funny because when you first hear it, you're just like, why would you name it Jason? And then you like look it up, and then Jason Statham's an actor who plays anti-heroes, and you're like, I see.
Kind of, maybe.
Maybe a little. I get it as like a conceptually, and then when you try to like articulate it, you're still like, But like, I also just love like the weird roaring in the background, and just like,
Anybody like hasn't listened to this album, which why are you here? Like, what? You just want to like? Do you think this is like a review? Because like, it's not really. I mean, I guess you could take it as a review. A review is like 25 out of like 10. We love it.
Stan. But like, there's just this like weird part.
If you thought this was a review, there you go. We're probably making this album sound like hot nonsense. It kind of is. but
yeah, I really love that. Like, they're just like, wow, part. It's great.
It sounds good. We promise.
It kind of has that Ode to Sleep kind of vibe where it goes between like really like hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
It's like really, it like shifts really like
I never noticed that. Yeah,
it shifts really like does like a 180 between like hardcore like sick beats and fast rapping to just kind of like chiller, like more.
I move
like with,
slow.
Yeah, with Pet Cheetah, it's very it just goes into like very like chill, calm, and then with like Ode to Sleep, it's like really upbeat, happy.
It's like a little less extreme because like with Ode to Sleep, it's like the rap parts and like the singing parts have like such like different like energies.
Yeah,
because like the singing part like sounds like super happy, and like the rapping parts like sound like very like dark vibes, whereas like Pet Cheetah has like a pretty like consistent vibe.
Yeah,
but it's still
the same kind of like thing. And then there's Legend, which the hype was the one that almost made you cry on this album. Yeah. Legend is the one that actually made me cry. Like, we listened to it for the first time, and I wasn't like sobbing, but there were tears. It's that 21 Pilots like fuck you thing where you have to decide whether you're just gonna listen to it and have a good time or if you're going to listen to it, because it's sonically is so happy and upbeat, and then the lyrics are so sad.
It's like the perfect like thing that they did, like sounds really happy but but like the lyrics are really sad. That like they had like a ton of on like all the other albums, but they don't really have a lot of it on this. Like the happier sounding songs like The Hype had like kind of happier sounding lyrics, at least by 21 Pilots standards.
Yeah.
And like the sadder sounding songs had like sadder sounding lyrics. But this one is just like happy like electric piano, and then it's
about his grandpa dying. And about, like, his regrets that he didn't get to show his grandpa the album, and his grandpa didn't get to meet Tyler's niece, and he also, like, didn't visit his grandpa in the hospital as much as he wanted to, and now it's too late. So it's very... It's very sad. I was so... It's like... It sounds so good, and I really love singing along to it, but also it's like big sad boy hours.
But it's like, it's kind of also like a tribute to his grandpa.
It's like kind of bittersweet, really sweet. Because it's kind of like it's like a really sweet gesture to, like, you know, the memory of his grandpa, and it probably gave him like a lot of closure, and you can tell how much it meant to him, but then also it's so sad. It's so sad.
I'm gonna, like, make you not have to talk about it.
I love it, though. I love that song.
And then, you know, just to, like, kick you while you down after Legend,
just beat you while you down.
They ended on Leave the City. All the bands we like decide to end all their albums on, like, sad songs or, like, emotional songs. Like,
thank you to Walk the Moon for just putting it on, like a kind of nostalgic, happy...
Even that song's, like, makes me really emo, but it's, like, more of, like, a happy kind... Like, fucking Panic at the Disco ended their last 3 albums on, like, emotional songs. Granted, the first one was, like, a love song, so it was, like, kind of, like, happier. It wasn't, like, super sad or anything. Fall Out Boy ended Mania on Bishop's Knife Trick, because fuck us. Just fuck you, I guess. And then 21 Pilots was like, let's end it on Leave the City. So they also did the same thing in Blurface. They ended it on Goner, because they want to kill us, I guess.
They ended Vessel on fucking Truce.
So, it's just their thing, I think.
But it's
when
so
they end,
beautiful.
When did they end, like, the other 2 albums? Did they do this for, like, every other album?
But, like, it's so beautiful and about, like, you know, how it's difficult to, like, keep going, but you gotta, and make the most of the time you have, but not in, like, an encouraging way. like it sounds encouraging, like, I know life's tough, but you just gotta keep going, but, like, they do it in, like, a way that really highlights, like, the burden part of it, and not, like, the uplifting part of it.
They end, Regional at Best on Clear, so, like, not... That was, like, a pretty good, solid...
It's pretty bop. But it's just, it's talking about how, like, they're never alone because of the people who listen to and love their music.
And, like, they're, like, friends and stuff. And
we are 21 Pilots and so are you, you know? Like, it has that feel at the end, but also in, like, a sad way.
Okay, so they didn't end every single one of their albums on, like, a really, like, sad note.
Yeah.
They end, like, most of them.
Yeah, but Leave the City, it's, like, it's beautiful to listen to. If you want something that's funny, but also kind of interesting, like, look up on YouTube, like, Trench, but only, like, but each song is only the parts where they say the song title. Because it's kind of funny to listen to that, but then also it kind of highlights how, like, much they can, like, change the song. Yeah. Like, with Leave the City, it has, like, really good build-ups and, like, stuff like that.
And it's also one of those things where, like, they build it off and then it, like, drops down. And it really hits you hard. It's a good song. It also ends on the same chord, like, Truce ends on.
Yeah,
fuck
you know, why not?
Why not?
Why not? It's a great album, anyway. Main overall.
Great album. You should listen to it.
Do it. It's great. Do it. 25 out of 10.
Do it.
Kill me. just
kill
me with your new music. Clifford can, like, just...
Yeah, did they name the Vulture Clifford, or did the fans name the Vulture Clifford?
Both are equally plausible. I don't know.
Who named someone along the way named the Vulture on, like, the Vultures were, like, a pretty, like, ominous, like, theme in this album. They, like, mentioned in a couple songs, one's on the cover. They named the one on the cover Clifford. Either the Click named it Clifford or they named it Clifford. Its name is Clifford now.
They keep doing that, like, the cheetah, Jason, the vulture, Clifford. I don't know how to end this. It's just a great album.
Yeah, usually
it's been a wild ride.
Don't we usually do the overall thing at the end, not the beginning?
Well, we did it at the beginning this time.
Now we have no idea how to end it.
Anyway, buy Trench on iTunes.
Stream it on Spotify. Buy it in person at, like, your local Target.
It's been an experience, TM. The boys are back. Bye.
The boys are back.